Hey everyone, my name is Garrett. Welcome back to another great fade review on how the solid black selvage goes from this to this. But before we get into all those details, do me a big favor, hit that like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Okay, so I got two pairs of solid black selvage here. One that is completely brand new, unworn, and another one that has been worn for quite some time. I don't know, I'm going in completely blind on this one. So you're gonna join me here as we find out about these jeans. So let's see if there's any notes in the pockets. These are, I think, an older pair. I found them in the store. So it doesn't seem like there's any notes. Oh, here we go. Look, this is interesting. So on the pocket bag here, someone used, it looks like a silver Sharpie to write the dates on here. So we wore them from 2017 to around the same month in 2020. So about 3 years wear. It says here he's soaked them 4 times and washed them only 6 times. 6 times. So there you go. That's the information. These are also Weird Guy solid black selvage, 100% cotton, size 33. That is very interesting because when I first looked at these, I thought they looked kind of more like a very low contrast, not very many washes pair, but I'm wrong. So let's get into them. Let's start from the very top here. We can see this is not a super old pair because it has this woven label sewn on 2 sides here. The waistband is in great condition, a decent amount of fading, but what stands out to me right away here is this discoloration here on the buttonhole area, and that's just because of that nickel button sitting in there, and there's probably some moisture where these were being stored, and that moisture causes some corrosion and has left this blue tinge on the buttonhole. I do love that look, and also you can see here on the button itself, it's kind of brassed a little bit on this side, and you can see that brass underneath as the nickel wears off, and then on here you can see that kind of black coppery finish on that side. So a cool little patina on the top button there. Opening up the fly here, we can see there's the original color of the buttons, which is that mil spec black, and the buttonholes are looking pretty good. All right, moving over the pockets area, we see again more brassing on this rivet here. The rest are fairly dark still, so definitely rubbing in and outside of that pocket. Inside the pocket seems to be slightly faded, but other than this little tear on the edge of the pockets are looking pretty good. No holes on the insides. Interesting little crease here on this side. I'm not quite sure, but I guess this was kind of folded over on that pocket area, and it has caused a fade on the side there, or who knows, maybe he had a pen in his pocket, something like that. Coming down, we got some nice whiskers here. These are really, I'd say, classy. Again, I want to say these look vintage faded, although he didn't wash them very much, so in theory they should be quite high contrast, but they are nicely kind of faded to that overall dark gray look, and then we have these highlights here of these light gray areas of these whiskers coming across. These weren't worn super tight, you can tell, just because they kind of go off in different directions instead of being straight across. And then you can see on the washing areas, you got a little bit of marbling, that little kind of like textured lightning strike, or it almost looks kind of like a curly hair pattern on there. So anyways, really nice area here on the top of the lap. Got some waves, I'd say you could go here on the fly placket because of those buttons. So it causes this kind of bumpiness, and then quite a bit of fading on the edge of the fly placket there. We definitely see some wear and tear on the crotch area, some repairs. So there was a blowout at some point in time, and these were quite heavily darned. And whoever darned them, I think they did a pretty good job, definitely better than what I would do. Coming down a little bit lower, you can see some interesting squares here. I'm not quite sure what happened here, but on this side, there seems to be like a little print of some type of square, and then on the other side, another square. So a little bit of a mystery there. Maybe, I'm guessing possibly, these were folded over, something like that, and there was some square or something, piece of metal, or I don't know what, that possibly caused this abrasion or this stain on both sides of the jean. But anyways, I've never seen anything like that. Maybe if you own this pair and you're watching this, you can write in and tell us what caused this square. All right, moving down to the knees, we got some nice, beautiful, low contrast, but I'd say subtly and perfectly faded knee areas. On the outside here, we got a little bit of leg twist as this outseam kind of twists a little bit down towards the leg opening, and you can just see some faint railroad tracks. This light gray on black, it almost gives me kind of like a, I don't know, a skeleton vibe, like a skeleton knight vibe. I don't know how to say it, but I'm really digging these black jeans. I really like this kind of low contrast, faded out look, which I feel like so many people try to get this look, this perfectly faded black jean. Coming down on the legs, we have a little bit more marbling. You can see those light areas with these squiggly lines coming down the jeans. Again, most likely from washing. Oh, and look, another mysterious square right here. You can see another little rectangle or square that popped up. I am so curious what is causing these squares. Who knows? Down here, we can see a little bit of a stacking fade. We have this kind of oval shape, which is usually caused by stacking or like the break of the jeans, just like that. And then some really nice roping on this hem. Quite a small, like the fold on this hem is a little bit small. So I'm wondering if maybe he had this hemmed somewhere else, because usually when we do our hems, let's see if I have a comparison. Yeah. So here's the original. If I show our factory hem, we do the hem a little bit bigger. They're both chain stitch hems, but ours are a little bit larger. So on this one, it's a little bit smaller. So I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe he had these done somewhere else, but you can see here where the hem is ripping at the back here, and just a really nice patina on the leg opening here, and the roping on this is, I'd say A+, A+. Then we have the Selvedge ID here and the Selvedge Edge, which is looking perfect here. No stains or dirt or rips on that. Let's check the other side real quick. Yeah, so Selvedge on this side is looking nice as well. And look, you can see a little bit of fading on the inside, which is also kind of interesting. All right, let's turn it over. Check out the back. So here is the back of the jeans. We can see here the black leather patch is looking nearly perfect, almost brand new. You can see a slight curve on the edge there. Usually that happens pretty normally when you wash it, or if they shrink a little bit, or sometimes the belt can cause that shape to happen. On the belt loops, a good amount of fading on that back one. Sides, not so much. And then as we come down to the bottom of the yoke here, nice puckering along this seam and good fades as well. We can see some wear and tear on the center back seam, where it's kind of like it's starting to wear and like kind of flip out here, the folded like seam allowance. If you see these little like puffs of thread coming out, which is kind of a neat detail on these back pockets. They're in great condition, but beautifully faded all the way around. Again, you can see that seam allowance on the inside, which gives it that kind of like 3D look. But overall, just the beautiful, it's just showcasing the fabric in a really nice way. I think this is doing the solid black Selvedge justice. Coming down to this blowout again on the back here, we can just see a lot of darning, quite a heavy duty repair. Let's take a look at the inside. So yeah, some fabric was, a thin piece of black fabric was sewn in for reinforcement, and then just a lot of thread was put down on that area. So it's a little stiff, but I'd say still totally wearable. And yeah, whoever did that, nice work. Coming down a little bit further, we have the honeycombs, and wow, these are some fantastic honeycombs, especially for a black jean. Black jeans are definitely harder to fade than an indigo jean. They take longer, and they're just a little bit more stubborn, not as high contrast. So to see this high contrast on the honeycombs is quite impressive. And this person wore these for around 3 years, so I'm not surprised to see how well the honeycombs have done. Coming down to the bottom, not a whole lot of calf fades, but at the bottom here we can see more fades at the back of the leg opening, and this beautiful ripping along the edge there. So I think that's gonna do it for this pair. So there's a view of the front and a view of the back. Let's do a quick side by side of the new pair. So there's a new pair, sorry, like that. And then the back. Pretty cool, I think. I'm impressed. So if you guys have a pair of solid black jeans or any other jeans, Naked Famous Denim jeans or unbranded brand jeans that you're not wearing anymore, send us a quick email. Vinny's gonna get it, and put some pictures there. If your jeans are faded enough, we'll send you a free label to send it in. Add it here to the eternal wall of fade. I'll do a fade review, or maybe Terry, or maybe somebody else. And of course, we're gonna send you a discount code for your next pair of jeans. I wanna thank you so much for sticking around until the very end. Again, don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next fade review.